So over the last week, I had a really fun idea. While on vacation, I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to some Kep1er, I'm gonna watch all their music videos again, I'm gonna watch some of their live stages and performances, and I'm gonna sit down and give my honest opinion and think, hey, maybe this group might just be a little overhated. And you're probably thinking to yourself, Teju, that doesn't sound like fun, that sounds like torture, what are you doing to yourself?
How? 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 I don't know!
Out of every single rookie group to debut over the past year, Kep1er is probably the one that has received the most consistent backlash. NMIXX also received a shit ton of hate on their debut because of how it was framed, but I think it's fair to say that Kep1er since then has received much more hate from the community. People just don't like Kep1er, and the reason is because they don't have a consistent sound to their music. The talent for Kep1er is there. They have some incredibly talented idols, they have decent enough vocalists, they have decent enough rappers, they can dance, they can perform on stage. The one big gripe for Kep1er that I've seen over the past couple months is the fact that they don't have a sound, which is true, they do not have a consistent sound at all, and that the members just don't really seem to have as strong as a bond as an IZ*ONE, for example, which again, IZ*ONE, I feel like they were a match made in heaven. And I seriously doubt we're going to see a produced group with that much chemistry ever again, so I don't really know if we should hold that against Kep1er because they seem to like each other. But my plan for this video is that I'm going to go through every single one of their music videos, including their Japanese release, and basically just give my thoughts about every single one, and then at the end we can summarize some bigger issues I have with the group. Now, Kep1er still has times to remedy a lot of the issues I talk about in this video. Again, they're only about a year into their contract, they still have a year and a half left, which means we will probably still get 3 to 4, probably 3 more comebacks from them, so there's plenty of time for them still to promote as a group and improve. Really, all that comes down to is Wakeone, and if they can get their heads out of their own asses and understand how to promote this group. Anyway, let's get started. Let's talk about their debut. Okay, starting off with their debut, Wadada, and honestly, when I first listened to this song, I remembered not liking it very much. Purely based off of disappointment. Honestly, most of the hatred that this song gets, and from my point of view, a lot of the criticisms I had, is because this shit was ass compared to La Vie en Rose from IZ*ONE, Energetic from 101. Produced groups have a pretty good track record of having good debut songs. The last group that had a debut song was IZ*ONE, and La Vie en Rose is one of the greatest K-pop songs in my opinion in the last 10 years. So to come out with Wadada, you have some expectations to immediately live up to, and they weren't met at all. Now again, I don't hold anything towards the girls. I think they did the best job they could performing with what they were given. The concept for Wadada is supposed to be space planet themed. It's supposed to be very galaxy oriented. The problem is that again, Wakeone has no fucking idea how to promote that. There's a lot of electronic influence. I do like that scratchy synth they use in the chorus a lot, that kind of flutters on and off. I do like that. I do think some of the rap sections are actually pretty decent. I think the thing that really draws back the song as a song is the fact that it's not vocally impressive to me, the dance is forgettable, and it's a bit repetitive. The music video is actually quite pretty. There's one specific shot where they're flashing in and out of reality in a room, and it's pretty cool. My biggest issue with their debut, and this will become a trend with their music, is how poorly the label actually uses them as members. And yes, it's more than just Bahie. I know she gets no lines, but she's not the only one who's suffering in this group. This song does nothing for the rap talent, dance, or vocal talent of any of the members. It was such a lackluster performance song to give them as a debut, and it did nothing for the general public. I will give credit where credit is due. Mask is a pretty good B-side, and I will say that some of their live performances, like the one that they did for the Mamas, was actually pretty good. I really love the outfits they had for that performance, and I think that the styling for a lot of the members most of the time is pretty decent. If I were to rate Wadada, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. It's passable, it's listenable, but it really fits the definition of starting off on the wrong foot because, after watching this debut, a lot of netizens and a lot of K-pop fans were just not impressed, especially with the lackluster delivery of this planet space concept that they were going for because of Girls Planet 999, which then will transition us to their first comeback, which is Up. We go. So Up was paired with their first comeback EP with Do Blast, and Do Blast itself is very forgettable as an album. I mean, it's okay, it follows a concept decently well, but it's nothing to write home about. However, Up is their best title track, and I don't think that's a hot take. I think most people will agree with me that Up is a song that I and many others can listen to without a gun being held up to their head. Like, they would willingly choose to listen to this. And I don't hate the cute concept they go for. In fact, there are some members in this group that I think fit the cuter concept. I think that Mashiro and Yeso specifically fit this concept the best out of all of the members. I really like some of the editing they do in this, and the CGI in the music video looks really good. I like how unapologetically colorful it is. Like, there are so many different colors. There's a rainbow stage at one point they dance in front of, which looks really cool. There's this like kind of mini bridge pre-chorus thing before the second chorus that they do, and it kind of like switches the complete mood of the song, and I wish the whole song sounded like that because it sounds great. And honestly, that's kind of where my positives end. This started the very scary realization that Wakeone had no fucking clue what they were doing in promoting a consistent concept with this group. What the fuck does this music video, does this song have to do with space or planets or anything revolving their initial debut concept? I'm fine with concept changes. You can do them and be very successful. Just don't do them the first comeback. The entire music video up until the final bridge has nothing to do about planets, about space, about stars. And then in the final bridge, they throw in a section, oh, look at the girls. They're sitting on planets with cool little tiaras on their head that look like stars. By the way, they're Kep1er. Remember, they got this space concept. It's so disjointed. They have no fucking clue what they're doing. And on top of that, I have to bring up the issue that we're going to talk about in a little bit, how they have no clue how to use their members. You think Bahie gets no screen time and no lines? Let's talk about Xiaoting. I'm going to rant about Xiaoting for a sec. She screams center potential. She screams she needs to be in the middle. She's the one that people look at. She's tall, she's really pretty, and while I don't think she has amazing stage presence yet, she has the potential to grow into it. She is, unironically, the Wonyoung of this group. Like, she is it girl center material, and Wakeone has no fucking idea. It could be because of varied reasons. I think the biggest reason maybe is because she's not as talented as some of the other members, so they don't really have her sing as many lines or something, but I seriously doubt that's like the main issue. Xiaoting gets like maybe 4 or 5 seconds of screen time per music video, maybe gets some ad-lib lines, maybe one line to herself. That's it, the entire music video. And the worst part is, bro, she had an outfit she was wearing during like the very final segment of this music video, and I was like, bro, she's wearing that bomb-ass outfit, and you're gonna have that on screen for half a second? Xiaoting in Kep1er is like if Wonyoung was an IVE, except Wonyoung was never in the center in IVE. Before I get too far in my rant, let's go on to their Japanese debut, which is Wing Wing. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro, Wing Wing feels like an afterthought. It feels like they had to make a Japanese comeback, and this is what they just squeaked out in about 30 minutes. I don't even really hate the song like that, though. Like, it's not that bad. It's really not that terrible. It's just so forgettable. Look, hot take, I'd rather listen to this, though, than half of IZ*ONE's Japanese comebacks, and I know people aren't gonna want to hear that, but this shit's at least a little more tolerable. This music video, forgettable, Jesus. This is actually one of the most forgettable music videos I've ever watched in the history of K-pop. There's nothing special, there's no consistent theme. Yeah, Wakeone, once again, has no idea how to fucking promote this group and give them a consistent concept. This, like, what is the concept for this music video? Or this song? Like, what is it? Is it supposed to be like innocent girl? Is it supposed to be teen? Like, what is it? Yujin's over here in a maze garden. Hikaru's over here standing in a random room. I don't even know the fuck Xiaoting is. The only decent thing about this song is that Wakeone kind of woke up and was like, hey, we're gonna put Xiaoting a little more in the middle, give her some more screen time, and they also gave Bahie a little bit more screen time too. So those are literally the only positives about the song. The rest of the song is forgettable. On to We Fresh. In preparation for this video, I realized that I forgot to do a song called Sugar Rush, which was also kind of like this mini comeback they did, and I don't like it. The styling is boring. The song is not good. The chorus is annoying, in my opinion, and it's just another blemish for them. So yeah, that's my quick little 20-second review.
Go. We more till we fresh. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. We fresh.
And then there's there's We Fresh, and oh my god, guys, I don't know what to do. We Fresh sucks. It sucks. The mini album Troubleshooter does not actually suck. There's actually a few decent songs on the album. I personally really like Downtown. I think it's the best song in their discography. The problem is that We Fresh as the title track is fucking horrible. And look, that's a very popular opinion. Everyone, like across the board, did not like this song. But let me tell you why this song sucks. I think this song is trying to be Teen Crush, but I honestly can't tell. There is rock influence in this song with some guitars, and they use it for like 3 seconds, and then they go back to what they did with Wadada on their debut and just threw a bunch of really hectic, loud synths in the chorus and were like, yep, this is a song. The pre-chorus isn't good. Shit, the dance break isn't even as good as Up. We Fresh is unfortunately the dagger of this group. It is the comeback that people are going to go back on and look and say, hey, this is where we realize that Wakeone has no fucking idea how to manage this group. You would think that they would stay with a space concept because that's the whole point of Kep1er, right? That's all what Girls Planet 999 was. But no, the concept for Kep1er is that they don't have a concept, and it doesn't work because all their music sounds so different from one another, and it sounds so disjointed. The production for a lot of their music is not good. It's mediocre and forgettable. I don't necessarily think that Kep1er is free from criticism because you can criticize the members, right? There are some members in the group that really aren't the most talented vocalists or the most talented dancers, and it shows. But hot take, IZ*ONE also had some members that weren't specifically that talented, yet they were able to make it work. You know what the really disappointing thing about this is, bro, is that there are members on this squad that I really enjoy and I think will thrive once this group disbands. Like, I think that they will go elsewhere, they will join another group, they will start a solo career, and they will do much better for themselves. In fact, let's quickly go down every single member in the group, and I'll just give you my brief thoughts about them. Yujin was a former CLC member. She is one of the best people in this group that you can rely on and lean on because she's been in a group, not necessarily incredibly successful group, but a group for a while. Now, I think it's fair to say that for CLC, Yujin definitely had a cute charm to her, right? Like, you could see her pulling off a cute concept, but I actually think Yujin does a lot better with CLC's concept than she does do with whatever sort of cute teen crush concept they're going for with Kep1er. They also just misuse her. She honestly doesn't get nearly as enough lines as she should, nor is she a focal dancer even though she has experience in the field. I'm not necessarily saying that Yujin is unfit to be a leader or that she's a bad leader, but she doesn't scream leader to me, and it definitely doesn't show on stage. I don't even know what to say about Mashiro other than the fact that she's probably one of the more forgettable members in the group. She gets subpar amount of lines. She kind of has the same attitude in every single one of their music videos, and I think she fits a cuter concept, but I don't know. I guess I'm just not really that big of a fan of her. I had the soft spot for Daeun because she has this very cute demeanor. She's adorable, but she is actually not a terrible rapper. At least that's what her main purpose for a lot of these songs are. Like, with the raps that she's given, she delivers them pretty well. And it's interesting because she has such a cute demeanor, but she performs with this very intense attitude. I think Daeun is one of those people who will leave the group when they disband and join probably another group, and I think she'll do a lot better wherever she goes. Hikaru is kind of the same as Daeun for me. She's, again, got a very cute demeanor to her, outward appearance, and then she actually performs and she's the complete opposite. She really fits more of a badass girl crush concept rather than this weird cute teen crush concept they're going for. Again, I think she does the best with what she's given, but after they disband, I could definitely see her joining another group and absolutely thriving. Yeoseu's the maknae, and I liked her in We Fresh. I think that the blonde hair really fits her pretty well, and she's definitely there. Kind of like Mashiro for me, she's definitely there. And then, look, I'm going to butcher this name because her name is really confusing to say to me. Youngun? I have no fucking idea how to say that. I actually like her. I think when I first saw Kep1er, she was my bias. I picked her as being my bias because I was like, she's very exciting to watch on stage. She's got a vibrant aura around her. I think she's a good dancer. Again, I think she's completely misused. They could use her a lot better, in my opinion. But I could potentially see her going solo. I could see that happening. Speaking of going solo, Chaeyeon is built to go solo. I guarantee she goes solo after they disband. She just has it written all over her. She's the best vocalist in the group by far. She has a very good attitude, energy with her on stage. Again, she kind of like Daena Hikaru has this very outwardly cute appearance, but she actually has got this almost confident, intimidating feel to a lot of the shots they give her in a lot of their music videos. But yeah, I definitely pin her as being a soloist after. So next we have Bahie, who is the younger sister of Hwin and Kai. And they look a lot alike. That's what I'll say about that. But Bahie has talent. I think she has talent. She's a good dancer. I think she's a pretty decent vocalist. I don't think she's amazing at either thing, but I think that she is just a good, like, presence on screen. You know what I mean? Like, she's someone who you could stick in the center and have her dance a portion of a song or something. However, unfortunately for her in this group, she has been relegated to ad-libs. She's ad-lib duty. And that sucks because I think she has a really fun personality. I think that she needs to leave this group. She needs to go. Because I honestly think that maybe she has some hidden potential like Hwin and Kai did. Like when Hwin and Kai debuted in TXT, I saw him and I was like, this guy doesn't really come off as being a very remarkable idol to me. Like, he wasn't all that talented when it comes to dancing. When it came to singing, he was whatever too. But now, I think he's a good live vocalist. I think he's a good dancer. He's probably one of my favorite members of that group. And I think that Bahie has maybe some of that potential locked inside of her that Kep1er has not been able to tap yet. Will we ever see Bahie get more lines? The answer is probably no. And that finally brings us back to Xiaoting. Xiaoting is the idol that I'm most pissed about in this group because of how they misuse her. Like, Bahie is misused probably next to Xiaoting the most. But Xiaoting, again, like I said earlier, is vibrant center material. Like, I think if they used her more, she could legitimately be like One Young levels of It Girl, and I know that's a hot take. I saw someone say that the reason for her underutilization is that she's Chinese, and like, look, there is a good amount of racism in the K-pop industry, so I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not joking you when I say that I watch a lot of Kep1er's live performances because I watch a few members specifically. You know, there's a few members that catch my eye in that group, and Xiaoting is one of them. I literally will watch a performance and just watch Xiaoting the whole time. I'll just watch Xiaoting because she has that it girl vibe to her. And Kep1er and Wakeone's solution to that is let's stick her in the middle for maybe a couple seconds during a dance break or during a pre-chorus section, give her some ad-libs, give her like one line in the song, and that's it. And it's just so... Xiaoting needs to re-debut after they disband in a smaller girl group, like a 5 or 6 member girl group, where she can kind of be like a One Young and thrive in that position, and I think that's the best outcome for her. So overall, what are my thoughts about Kep1er after listening to them for a week, watching a lot of their live performances, going back through their MVs? My opinion is that Wakeone really fucked up with this group, like big time. The reason Kep1er has failed in an immensely stacked rookie class is because a lot of these other rookie groups like New Jeans, Le Seraphim, IVE, they've all figured out a sound. Even NMIX, right, with their whole change-up concept in the middle of a song, even they found somewhat of a sound to them, right? Kep1er, we don't know what their sound is. In fact, they don't have a sound. And for a lot of people, Kep1er's done already. It's not, oh, they're getting left in the dust. It's they're already done. They still have a year and a half left on their contract. Like, they still have plenty of time left to fix some of their mistakes, but I don't trust Wakeone to do that. I really don't. Kep1er is the ultimate disappointment for a produced group. It is the worst produced group by far so far, and I don't think it's because of the talent. I don't think it's because of the members. I think it's because of how the company has handled them, both promotion-wise and music-wise. The thing that pisses me off even more is the fact that Boys Planet, their group is going to be permanent. They're going to be the first real permanent produced group. If Kep1er was permanent, I would not really be that worried because they would have plenty of time to make up for the bad start. Kep1er has a year and a half left on their contract. That's it. If Boys Planet has a lackluster year one from their group, they'll have plenty of time to make up for it. It just doesn't seem fair to me. Which just adds on to the long history of mistreatment of girl groups in K-pop, which is a whole nother video. When I did a deep dive into Kep1er, I kind of just realized how bad I feel for a lot of these members and how terrible of a situation that they are in from a production standpoint. It's just, they have no chance. Thank you for bearing with me this long. This video is quite long, but tell me what you guys think down below about Kep1er. Do you like them? Do you not like them? And hopefully I'll see you guys in another one of my videos.